Hey everyone, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. Today I'm going to show you how I've made this gorgeous Christmas village advent. So I make a new advent every year. I do make them for friends and family. This one was supposed to be for Monty, my puppy. However, I've fallen in love with it and it's very much my style and my colours. So I think I'm going to have this one and I'm going to give him my one, which I made maybe 2 or 3 years ago now. It's a lovely house style and it's got slightly bigger drawers actually. So for his dog treats, it probably will work better. This one is using a die to make all the houses. However, I have a really nice little milk carton style gift box. I will link that up here and that one will also work well for this style. So don't worry if you don't have the die set. I'll show you everything that I've used, but you can easily make a little house box. And it's really easy to make the whole thing as well. It was just time consuming cutting obviously all of these little houses and doing the embossing, but actually the construction took about half an hour to put together and then obviously the decoration there. So really straightforward to make. Hope you enjoy this one. So let's get started. So I've already gone ahead and I've cut 23 of the boxes in all different coloured card. Now the card I've used is the Lidl cardstock. So if you've brought one of the packs from there, I used the purple, blue, pink, the dark pink, the light blue and the green. So those are all from that pack. Okay, I did use 2 sheets, which I think there are 2 sheets of each colour in the pack. So I just love those colours together and it's very much my kind of matches my colour scheme for Christmas. So I'll just show you how it looks when you cut it. So it's using the die from this set here. You get 15 dies altogether, so you get all of these to create a little winter scene. You can create a village, you can completely close the boxes so they're just, you know, solid pieces, and then you have these ones here which will cut, so it's all in the same die. So these cut this one here, this is separate, and these are to add onto the top of the roof, so it creates like another level to the house. I'm not going to be using them today because I'm having mine opening like so. Then if I had that stuck on there I wouldn't be able to open them. But that's what those are for. So you want to cut them out, and then I've heat embossed the top of the roof here. What I'm also going to do, and I did this with all of the pieces, is just go over all of the score lines. Now, like I said at the beginning, if you don't have this die set, I will have popping up now the little milk carton boxes, which are very similar in size. So you can create something, you know, pretty similar to what I've got, what I'm doing today, but also, you know, how you can have any size boxes. All you have to do is just increase or decrease the size of the circles that I'm going to be using. It's a really easy one to adapt. So I've just gone over those ones there and also here and here, and then I just went over the little kind of tabs here. It just makes it a bit easier because they are quite small. So on this one here, this is the roof and that's the closure. So I just took the stamp here from the coordinating stamp set. This is the Rustic Christmas. So again, if you haven't got this die, I believe this is still available because the die set has sold out. I believe this one's still available. You could, this is just lovely to stamp onto any size box that you have. You've got your doors here, you know, you've got your holly. There's so many lovely elements here. The more windows, you've got the wreath detail here, the that's brickwork. But I've taken this one here and I've used my white embossing powder and I've done that on all of them. So like I said, you want to cut 24 or 25. Some people do open on the 25th. I have made some calendars with 25, and to be honest, I still may have 25 on this one, but we'll see once I put it all together. So just go and burnish all of the score lines. Okay, and then I'm just using my quick grab glue. You just want to run some along the little tab there. Also, if you want to do any more stamping or die cutting, because you have the small windows here, then if you want to die cut into it, do that before you stick it together. I've cut a load of windows here and I'm going to be sticking them on at the very end. When everything's together, I can see what you're going to see, and then stick them on, rather than possibly wasting a lot of time sticking them in places that are going to end up getting hidden with faux snow and trees and things like that. So I'm going to be adding them right at the end. I did pop one on this one just so you can see how they look there, but I may well be able to, you know, add a bit more on these sides as well. So just stick that down, then fold it back the other way just to make sure that all lines up. And then with the bottom, I just fold in the sides first, add a little bit of glue, like so. There's probably a correct way of doing this, but this is how I've just done them all. You don't see any of this anyway. And then I just add a bit of glue onto the top and close that off. And you'll see you get a nice square shape, and then just flip it over and with a ruler, just make sure that's all secure. Also, whenever you're making a lot of the same thing, I batch make. So I went and cut them all first, then I went and scored them all first, then I folded and burnished them all, and then stuck all the bases down, and then stick all this down. You do it a lot quicker than doing what I'm doing here, one at a time on each one. It will, you know, definitely pays to do it all in sections. It's a good one as well if you're crafting with other people, because you can have someone cutting them all, another person kind of, you know, burnishing and then sticking. So I'm just adding the glue to those little tabs, and you'll see it just runs up one side of the roof there, right up to the fold, and just make sure that that folds over nicely there. You could probably do both at the same time, but if you use your liquid glue, you've got the time then to be able to just wiggle it around like I'm doing there. Okay, so that's all secure. Then for the numbers, I've got this set here, so it's the Rustic Christmas Advent Stars and Numbers die set. Any numbers will work for this. I also thought if you've got this, which was a lovely gift, and I'm going to be using this in some of my Christmas makes, it's the Countdown to Christmas. This was in, I can't remember the magazine, I'll link it below, but I don't know if it's available online anymore, but I know it may well be in stores. But they had a load of numbers. Oh, here we go, at the very beginning, there we go. And they're very similar in size. You can see there if I sit that over the top. So they're going to work lovely. But also, if you've looked at or watched any of my past advents, I've always brought a lot of the numbers from Simply Creative and Hobbycraft. You know, depending on where you are in the world, pop into your, you know, your craft stores and stuff, and I'm sure you'll find some advent stickers. So if you don't want to die cut and do what I've done there, then you can do that as an alternative. But like I said, any number dies, as long as they fit within that size. So I've just used the circle in here. You get a little ring and the circle there. So I've just used the holographic cardstock. You can turn them into little baubles if you want. And this is the last one. So I'm just going to pop that one. And I'm putting them more towards the bottom just because of the closure. But everybody's might be different. And then I've got my hook and loop here. I purchased this ages ago. It's lasting me a long, long time. But they're such small little dots. They're perfect for this size box. I'll give you the size of those. They're from Amazon. And again, I will link them in the description box. But just popped a pair together there. And then just keep that all lined up. And it will fold onto the front there. And then just carefully prise them apart once they're in place. And then you can really stick those down. And those ones are 10mm in size. So that's the last box. So like I said, do that 24 or 25 times, and then we can move on to the circle cutting and the construction. So these circles here are each tier of my advent. So I've got my bottom tier, middle tier, and then the top tier. If you've got circle dies big enough, then use your circle dies to cut this. Otherwise, you could draw around a dinner plate, a side plate, and a little saucer. Or maybe you've got like little coasters or something of a similar size. I'm using my circle cutter. These are brilliant, and they will cut up to a 13-inch diameter circle, and it will go down, I think, to like a 2 3/4 or 3 inch. So it can go a lot smaller than what's on there. I've used 300 GSM cardstock, and I've cut them 3 times. So there's 3 circles stuck together there. So you can see that's a really nice strong piece. If you would rather use some grey board and you want to cut that with your cutting knife, then you can do, but I just thought this was the easiest way to do it. So the top one here is 5-inch diameter. So 3 of those stuck together. Then the middle tier is 7 1/4. Again, 3 are stuck together. And then the bottom tier, I believe, was 10 inches. Let me just check. Yeah, 10-inch diameter. Again, 3 of those. That one's just still drying, but again, it's going to become nice and strong. Now, I've got my hot glue gun just warming up. I think I had 12 houses on the bottom, 9 on the middle, and then 3 on the top. But you might find that you can only fit 11 on the bottom, or 13. Maybe you can't get that 10-inch circle and yours is a little bit bigger. It isn't going to matter as long as you end up with, you know, the 3 tiers. How you have the houses kind of stuck on there is up to you. You can really change it. So like I said, I'm going to have 12 on the bottom. And what I'm thinking of doing, when I've stuck these down, is I've got some stuffing, some old cushion stuffing, and I'm going to stuff the stuffing in the kind of center here and have it kind of poking out in between the houses. So it's just a quick way to create some faux snow. And then I'm hoping I'm going to be able to pop some of my fairy lights in amongst it, so it's just going to give quite a nice warm glow when I turn it on. I want to try and distribute the colours evenly, so let's just get one of each colour first of all, and the purple. So I think that's one of each colour, so I'm just going to pop them now a little bit closer together, and then I'm going to do the same again. So we'll do blue, purple, green, pink, light pink, and then light blue. So I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's my 12 houses for the bottom. And you can see there, once I'm going to have mine so they're kind of just joining from the back, but then they kind of fan out. So there's a bit of a gap. And what I want to do is I've got these little bristle trees. I'm going to paint the bottoms white and they will stick perfectly in between these, and I've got some bigger ones as we get, well, I can have those at the bottom as well. I'm going to mix it all up anyway, and I've got a larger one for the very top. So have a play around with the positioning. Like I said, if you've used the milk carton ones, they're going to be slightly different in size, but you should be able to get the same kind of amount on the bottom there. Once you've got them all nicely spaced, I want to make sure I've got the same kind of gap at the front on all of them there, so just bring those back a little bit. So it doesn't have to be perfect but you want to make sure that your next tier, I'm going to be adding some hot glue to the backs here of each of the houses. This is going to sit inside like so. You need to make sure that your boxes can still open, because we've stuck the backs of them down where that will be attached to. They can still easily get into the boxes and get the treats out. I'm just going to take that one off for the minute, and I'm going to start from this one here and just add my hot glue there. So I'm not too worried if the glue kind of comes out a little bit and things like that, because I'm going to be adding faux snow and all kinds of things. There's going to be a lot to kind of hide any little bits that you're not happy with. So I'm pleased with how that all looks, and that's all nice and secure. And then I've got this stuffing here, and I just thought if I fill this middle section, it doesn't need to be like really tight, but I can just pull bits of the stuffing through the gaps. And then I'll just put, I might not even need to hot glue the inside because it's going to be sealed with that, but I'll just add a little bit of hot glue underneath these bits by the time I add the little trees and things. So that's all in place. Like I said, I am going to secure this all in place, but now I want to hide the lights in amongst this, and I'm just going to pop the battery pack in one of the boxes because the treats aren't going to, you know, fill every corner of it, and I'm probably going to have this one for the middle and top tier. Okay, so if I just pop this in that box there, so I'm just wrapping the lights around each of the houses, but I want to make sure that the lights aren't missed, so you can see that just the plain wire is behind each house or in front of each house, which is going to be hidden. But I want you to be able to see one of those, and then back to the beginning, and then I'll just double up there. So just kind of get it in place. Almost get two around there. There we go. That's gone quite far actually. So just get it kind of down, and then you can use your hot glue and hide the wire with the stuffing. Like I said, lights are completely optional. It's not going to be for everyone, but it is going to look really sweet. So that's the lights all hidden now. You can't see them too well because obviously it's daylight, but once the lights are off, that's going to just create a really nice warm glow. So next I want to stick this one over the top like so. So I think what I'm going to do is just add, again, I'm going to be covering this with the foam, so I'm not too worried about how the hot glue looks, but you can see how far it's going to stick down onto these. I don't think I need to add the glue on all of them, but I'm just going to add some, just kind of like on the opposites, just on a few of them there, and then just let that kind of drop in, as long as it attaches itself to some of them. Make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, and then I can start adding the next tier of houses. So on this one, I think it was 9. So again, I just want to distribute the colours so that they're kind of different. So I have the blue there, do a light blue over there. I've got a green here, so what's that? 4, 5, 6, 7. Or maybe it was 8. Maybe I've changed it. Let's do a light pink in there. There we go. Oh, so maybe it was 8 on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then it will be 4 back to back on the top with the Christmas tree in the middle. So again, I'm going to pop the lights in one of the boxes, put the stuffing in the middle and bring it all out onto the tops of the roof. So I'm going to bring the foam out a little bit further this time. And with these, I was thinking I probably won't have the bases, because I can just have the trees just literally stuck into the foam. So it's just going to make it a bit easier. I don't have to paint them. So I'm going to get that tier done, and then I'm going to move straight on and I'm going to get that one stuck down, and then I'm going to do the same with the top tier as well. So that's everything stuck down, but I've run out of the lights for the top tier. I've got cool lights. I haven't got the warm glow, so I'm going to get them ordered, but it's easy for me to slot that in. So I've added the 4 there, and then I've got one of these trees, and I just saw I can just push that. I'm just going to position all that a little bit better and get the tree stuck there. And then I've got all of these ones here, a few different sizes. They're a little bit battered, but I think that I like that, adds to the charm. But I'm going to unscrew them. Otherwise, just paint the bottoms if you want to keep them, but I think they look quite nice if I just bring that up. Can you see, just kind of pushed in the snow? And then I'm going to fill all these gaps here as well with more faux snow, and then I'll show you it when it's all done. And I think I'm also going to add a sprinkling of this here, which is the crystal ice, and I'm going to run it all along the bottom of this kind of frame here, and maybe just in these little bits as well. So I've decorated it all. I've added some of the windows onto the sides of these top ones here. I don't think it really needs it on any of the others. And I've added a trim of the stuffing there around the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle this. I think it's just going to catch in amongst the foam there. So I'm just going to use the sprinkle side. I've cleaned my desk just so any excess I can put back into the box. I'm just going to start from the top and just start. I turn it on its side, actually, there we go, and you'll hopefully catch this in the light, but it should just kind of tangle itself up. And I've just got this bag of like a star garland, and I think the silver star is going to finish the top of the tree perfectly. So I just want to decide on where the kind of front will be. Like I said at the beginning, if you've got a lazy Susan, then that's obviously going to make it easier to spin around, but I'll just turn this one. So I'm going to have the light boxes at the back. So in this green one, you see a little bit of wire there and a little bit of wire there. So that's going to be the back. So I'm going to have the front kind of on an angle there. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of hot glue. In fact, I'm going to run it down that back bit there and just kind of have it slightly down from the top of the tree there. And there you have it. Just turn it on its side there, you can see. I might pop a few little baubles on there, just some little styrofoam balls that I've got. I've got some silver ones, I think, but otherwise I think I'm done. I've got a lovely little sign post. I might do like Merry Christmas or something heat embossed on it and add that in. I've got lots of little charms and things, so you might see things added once I share the photos, but I think for now I'm really pleased with that. Just need to get the lights for the top, but that's easy to stick in there and hide. So I hope you've enjoyed this year's Advent Village, something a little bit different, but something I think everybody can do. Whether you're making these boxes, you might have a die for a different house, so you might have an even bigger Advent. You might not have them tiered up like mine, you might have them in longer rows and maybe staggered. There's so many ways to do this kind of style, but I'm really pleased with this one. I love the colours and I can't wait to fill it and enjoy it. So as always, thank you for watching. I will link as much of the product that I've used today in the description box below. I'll also have the other advents that I've made popping up now. You might decide that you want to make one of those ones instead. And if you've enjoyed today and you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, and that way you won't miss out on any future tutorials that I share. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.